AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Yes, God bless the dead. Shout out to Tupac Shakur, my favorite rapper of all time. My favorite, one of my favorite celebrities of all time. Just an incredible mind. Just incredible artist. He helped me develop an understanding for what fandom is and fandom. Being that I was 12 or 13 and I was a super fan of Tupac, and he just got killed after stomping out a Crip in Las Vegas, and it was such a conflicting thing for me because you're 12 or 13. This is like a superhero, but then I'm looking at it, I'm like, why would he stomp out a Crip? That was dumb. And obviously we're dealing with a person that's conflicted and everything like that, and just a duplicitous character, and it showed as an artist, through the music, through the way he spoke. I don't think anybody has made music like him ever since. I don't think we've had a hip-hop star or a star in any realm out of this country since him. Just anytime you watch an interview with Tupac is beyond fascinating, beyond interesting. He makes it interesting. He's a salesman. And, people don't want to hear a Trump comparison, but he was very Trump-like. And I always say this, I was so glad when Fat Joe said that, because he was live when he saw Pac in the crowd with the famous freestyle with Funk Flex, and he saw like this guy was always a rah-rah, starting something, and he just looked for the attention. One of the pioneer trolls of hip-hop, the way he got at Biggie and everyone just mentioning their names. He bridged the gap between the street and the music. All these names that were in the street, the Jimi Hendrix of the world, Haitian Jacks of the world, Tut. All these guys became even more mythological because of Tupac. And after that, I think we had so many artists that it was easier for them to like storm the scene, and they were like, on the street from when they were kids, like a DMX and even the Jay-Z's of the world and the 50 Cents, all these guys that were directly influenced by that. Even Lil Wayne with the tattoos, and Kanye with his vulnerable side, right? Even Drake with his vulnerable side. A lot of this was birthed in the 90s with a Tupac, with someone who made a Dear Mama and also made a Hit 'Em Up. But definitely 96 or 28 years ago, it was crazy, because around this time, it was around like 7 o'clock p.m. in New York. It was reported. And just a character like that, he taught me, just by being a fan of his, how I can directly disagree with someone who I'm a fan of. And I see a lot of people struggle with being a fan and being a stan. And in sports, we see it all the time when people are super LeBron fans, super Michael Jordan fans. And I'm not saying I don't get caught up. I can be blinded by fandom myself, because again, being a fan of Tupac made me realize, like, you're human. There are charismatic people. There are people who are leaders, and they're just, they're going to gravitate and resonate with you for whatever reason, and people can become blinded by it. So anytime you hear me harshly criticize any one of these sports athletes or celebrities, it's because I was once a fan, a super fan of a major artist in Tupac, and it taught me, like, don't be blinded by fandom. And, of course, we lost a great mind. A lot of it was self-inflicted, or most of it was self-inflicted. He pushed the beef with Biggie. A big reason why Biggie's not here either is because of himself, Tupac, Puffy, and Suge. And they played a major part. Biggie should have never been out there, but he fanned the flames. If you look at Pac, was so political. He was raised by the Black Panthers, and he learned what media was all about. So you're in the media and you're mentioning names of people that have something to do with you being attacked, and then throwing Biggie in the mix because he's going to make headlines. Because the rest of the guys, they won't make the headlines, right? They even replaced Jimmy Henchman and Haitian Jack's name in the Vibe magazine with like Nigel and somebody else, because that dude Powell, I think his name was Adam Powell, whatever it was, used to work for Vibe magazine. He knew how dangerous it was to put those names in there. But Pac was all about sensationalism, even back then. That's why, to me, you saw people hate the comparison, but you saw like a Tekashi 6ix9ine in this era go bananas, and he was like harmless. He himself, what kind of damage can he actually do? Tupac was out here really shooting people, really shooting at people, playing with guns, you know, very confrontational and out to prove and set himself up as a man in his position and gain a status, which a lot of us can look up to. And just studying his life is, you can learn a lot about what celebrities are about, right? Like you can see when he's 17 years old, how he sounds in an interview compared to 25 years old. He's very aggressive. At 17, he sounds like effeminate. At 25, he's super tough guy, macho. So we see the growth in what can happen with a guy who's trying to obtain power. He understands power. He becomes Machiavelli. He takes on the Machiavelli name, who supposedly killed him, faked his own death, and he's just taking on this super persona in pursuit of power. He understood politics. He was the most prepared out of any celebrity, especially out of hip hop, to be a celebrity. A lot of guys they're not ready for that. I think Fish mentioned earlier how Shannon Sharp wasn't prepared to be this level of celebrity, and it felt like Tupac was. Like, he went to acting school. It felt like he was always performing, and his last performance kind of caught us, kind of made him slip. And people get offended when you say performance, but we're all performing. There's a microphone in front of me. I have to perform a certain way. In life, we're all born artists, as I think Picasso said. And I think Pac should be in anybody's GOAT category, because he performed every single attitude and feeling just outright. So I wanted to mention that. The more you get to know me, the more you understand that's somebody that should be studied as far as the celebrity thing goes. And when you see the tricks in the media and they report certain stories, and you see celebrities acting a certain way, or they're taking on different roles all of a sudden and trying to gain your attention, nothing is new on planet Earth, man.
AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.